Did you experience a slip up or a return back to old patterning or behavior after some time of being in recovery? That's what we're going to explore in this video here today is 10 ways that you can begin moving forward after a slip or a relapse after some time in recovery. This can be equally useful for whether you are recovering from a binge eating disorder or an addiction to drugs or alcohol. So, my name is Derrick Ivey. I'm a board certified clinical hypnotherapist, researcher, and intuitive healer. I live in Colorado. And I have worked with a lot of people in recovery over the years in my own practice. And also, I have personal experience in recovery myself. So that's why I'm so drawn and so passionate about helping individuals find lasting recovery in alternative and unconventional ways. So let's get right into this. I'm going to share with you 10 things to keep in mind, or 10 actionable things, 10 mindset shifts, however you want to look at this. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video and the channel here. That helps us so much to get this information out to more people that really need it. So let's get right into this. In my own hypnotherapy practice and healing practice, I specialize in helping people on journeys of recovery, especially given my own background. And I used to be a chronic relapser myself before I found lasting recovery over 5 years ago. Recovery is not always a linear process. And what I mean by that is it's not always that you just decide, hey, I want to get sober, and you make that decision, and it's all just butterflies and rainbows from there. No. In fact, most people do not experience a linear path of recovery. And I don't want to say that relapse has to be a part of recovery or that relapse is a part of recovery because it absolutely doesn't have to be. You absolutely can come right into recovery and stay here and keep doing good without relapsing. But if it did happen, that isn't something that is going to doom you to failure or tell you that you'll never be able to succeed. It happens. So that's really important to realize that it doesn't have to be a part of your recovery, but it absolutely happens, and you can absolutely bounce back even stronger from this. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is do not beat yourself up. Beating yourself up is never going to be a factor for positive growth and change. It just isn't. Beating yourself up is relating more with fear than love. So, in our healing journey from anything, love is the most valuable ingredient. We always should be moving towards love. What helps you feel really loved deep inside? How can you love yourself? And it's really natural and easy to, when you're on this path of recovery and you're on this upward trajectory, to really feel defeated when you make a mistake. And it feels like you tore down all of that progress. But what I want you to realize is that your addiction wants you to feel that shame. Your recovery wants you to feel that love. Your higher self wants you to feel that love. And you're not a bad person. That is not even true. The stories that are coming into your brain beating you up, that is not even true. That is a story. So, really recognize what this energy is that has come up inside of you around it. Yeah, maybe it brings up a really heavy feeling, but really become present and intimate with that energy itself. And just be mindful of those stories that are coming in, attaching to that energy around your relapse. You can move forward in a more skillful way, and beating yourself up is never going to be a factor for positive growth and change. And it already happened, right? You already drank, you already did the drugs, it's already metabolized and excreted out of your system. So now it's time to just keep moving forward, keep having love for yourself. The second thing is realize that this next go around, you're not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience this time. It can feel really defeating to say, I have to go back to day one of my recovery, but realize that the sober or clean time that you had is not null and void because you messed up. Yeah, you might have to restart your counter and start back at day one, but all of that progress wasn't lost. And this is a really good time, if you can, to reflect on what went well last time. What did I do really, really well? What worked really good for me? And then it's also an opportunity to see, maybe in hindsight, you have more clarity of what happened leading back up to you using again. Was there something that could have warned you where you kind of knew that's where you were heading, that this time around, if you see that thing happening, you can nip it in the bud right there, right? So use this as an opportunity to really grow from what happened and not let it knock you down further. Because if you feel like you just totally messed everything up, and then what's the point of continuing in recovery, right? That can be a mindset that is easy to get into as someone who has an addictive tendency. The third thing is get back up and focus on where you're heading. If the last you were sober for the last 14 days or 2 weeks and you had a slip up, you were still sober 14 out of the last 15 days, right? So really look at what you have done really well and really celebrate the good things, what you've done good. That's really going to help. And focus your energy on what you're building with your new life. What is this lifestyle and recovery going to be like? Because that's where you should focus your energy. That's more constructive. Use all of your energy to build that lifestyle, build the friendships of the people that truly support you and they're safe spaces for you. Use that energy to completely create a new dream for yourself or create plans to move yourself forward or ahead in life. All of us are reborn in every single second. In every single second, we can totally change course and we can totally create a new ending, right? Like just because something has been a certain way for a certain period of time doesn't mean that you have to keep going down that road. So realize this moment is a new rebirth and you can begin building that new energy of your new life. Focus on where you're heading. This relapse showed you even stronger what you don't want to experience. This relapse showed you even stronger what you don't want your life to be. So use that to launch those vibrational rockets of desire, right? Because when you know what you don't want, that shows you even stronger. Okay, that is the life I want. That's what I want to experience. And where did this show you areas that you can dedicate yourself even stronger to the lifestyle that you do want? Maybe this shows you, okay, I need to hang around more sober people. I need to do more things that are going to help me feel full inside or fulfilled. The fourth thing, if you had a slip or a relapse, is to tell on yourself to close mouth friends and family. Now, shame grows in the dark. Shame grows in isolation. And as an addict in recovery, I know how shameful that can be to have a slip or a relapse. And how the last thing you want to do is go and talk to someone else and tell them your mistake. But I'm letting you know that by not telling on yourself, by keeping that information to yourself, you are actually blocking the universe's gifts for you. Because if you don't tell someone, how are they going to help you? Staying silent keeps us stuck in that negativity. Staying silent keeps us stuck in our own stories in our head. Telling on ourselves gives us an opportunity to be helped. It gives us an opportunity to receive someone else's experience or their goodwill or their tips and tricks that have worked for them. And it also creates accountability to tell on yourself, accountability for a better future. Because if you tell someone that you really trust, hey, this is what happened. I feel horrible about this, but I just wanted to let you know that this is where I'm at. This is what's going on. Then at that point, they are able to know maybe you need some accountability. Maybe you ask for that. And this can be an opportunity for you to let others know what your needs are. Maybe that is a need of yours to have that accountability moving forward. And all you need to do is ask. Ask a closed mouthed friend or family member. Maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's your brother or sister. but just say, can you help me stay accountable? Can I text you every day and check in? And that way, if you don't hear from me, then you know to check on me. That can help so much. And we can begin to get more comfortable voicing needs. So maybe in the past, it was harder for you to let someone know this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm needing. But this is an opportunity to not just about this, but about everything, share your needs because your needs are valid. And also, the other thing that this does is it just reminds you that you are loved. It reminds you that you are not alone. So tell on yourself. The fifth thing is realize that recovery paths are not always linear. We touched on this at the very beginning of the video, but relapse doesn't have to be a part of your recovery, but like 99% of addicts are not going to get it on the first, second, third, fourth, even fifth, sixth, seventh time. We grow a little bit every time. It's all valuable information. It's like our soul is picking up all of these little tidbits of information about ourselves, about substances, what the addiction teaches us. But the vast majority of people do have struggles before they finally find what works for them. Sometimes you have to go through the pain of that to realize that you deserve better. You have to go through more and more pain to learn this is not ever going to be the solution. That was the case for me, right? Like, I was a chronic relapser for years. And I first started getting sober when I was like 20. And I didn't actually get sober till I was like almost 30, right? So there was like 9 years of learning in between when I first knew, okay, yeah, this is what I need to do to, okay, this is actually doable, right? And every time I drank or did drugs, I learned even more about myself. I learned even more about how it's never going to work for me, how it's always going to be a false experience for me. So yeah, just realize that you are on your path. This is not a diversion from your path, but rather it's part of the path itself. It's part of what you are learning as a soul. This was an experience that your soul wanted to have, apparently, coming into this body. That was a way that your soul knew you would get to process that energy or learn those soul lessons, as hard as it is. But realize that every time you come back into recovery, you're still on an upward trajectory. Fall 7 times, get up 8, just like the old proverb. And you're still making forward progress. Even though you have setbacks, you're still trending up. So it's like there's these little ups and downs, but you're still generally trending up. Now, if you weren't trying at all, then maybe you would trend down, but that's just how we work as humans. We gather these bits of information and we trend upwards. The fifth thing that I want to share about a slip or a relapse, I'm sorry, the sixth thing that I want to share is recommit to your whys. Recommit to why you want or need to be sober or clean or free of this addiction in the first place. Use this as an opportunity to get even stronger result by remembering why you're doing this for yourself. What is your life going to be if you can really get this addiction out of your life and start getting some traction and some forward momentum? What is this going to do for your friends and your family? What is this going to do for your personal goals in life? What are you going to be able to accomplish? And more importantly, what are you going to do to celebrate after you've been sober for a whole year or 5 years? So reconnect with your why. Why am I doing this? Why is recovery important to me? The seventh thing to remember is reflect on the truth of the experience. So, what I mean by reflect on the truth of this experience is look at what it was actually like to go back to that pattern of behavior or to go back to that substance. Was it really that glamorous? Was it really that awesome? Or was it actually really crappy? So this can be as hard as it is to have a slip or a relapse. This can be a really, really good time to reflect on what that was actually like for you, what this actually does to your mood, to your life, to your physical body. Uh, you can look at what led up to this. What did you let slip right before this happened? Because the relapse always happens long before the actual substance or the actual behavior is engaged in again. So it's kind of a mental process and a spiritual process that gets set in motion. So really use this to reflect on the truth of your experience and be really, really honest with yourself. That's such a key component. And realize that as addicts, you might be trying to chase that first high feeling again, but you will never recapture that really high feeling of the first time you ever felt it again. No matter how many times you try, that magic in the substance is gone forever. It's never going to actually give you that magic again. That's ruined. Your tokens are used up, right? So the eighth thing is dive deeper into your self love, your self spiritual practice, and self care. Use this as an opportunity to go deeper, to commit deeper into your own recovery and your own self. Now more than ever, it is the time to start letting some self love flow into your experience. Spend time deliberately getting to know yourself. Find out what are those things that I really, really love to do. What are some things I could do that would be really loving for myself or really would pamper me? Maybe you get certified in Reiki and start a self Reiki practice. That's something I love teaching people that are new to recovery because it's such an invaluable self healing tool. And Reiki is way more than just an energy healing modality, it's a way of life. I teach people self hypnosis to create suggestions for themselves and start turning things around. This is such a rich time to really root into the mud and the muck of the shit of the experience of relapse, but then letting something beautiful grow from that and starting new practices that really nourish you to your depths. Really, this can be an exciting time in your life because you can figure out this is who I really am. This is who I am. This is what I love. So do things that feel like you. Go places that feel like you. Drink coffees that feel like you. Wear clothes that feel like you. Decorate your house in ways that feel like you. But figure out, what do you love? And really go deeper into that. This is a great time to recommit to your nutrition. Or is your body getting the hydration and nutrition that it needs? What are some ways that you could feed yourself in more nourishing ways physically? Maybe it's time to start a new sleep routine and make sure that you're getting enough rest or you're resting earlier. Or maybe subconscious routines and patterns of starting the day with something really, really positive and life giving. This is a great time to reevaluate and go deeper into self. So dive deeper into self through self care, self love, self spiritual practice. The ninth thing, if you are experiencing a slip or a relapse, is change your surroundings physically and cleanse your space. So, our physical space is so, so important because it really dictates how our mood is. If you were sitting in a room with, like on the show Hoarders, and there's crap everywhere, stacked up to the ceiling, you can't walk in the room, you're gonna feel that mental chaos, right? And most people don't have that big of a mess. And if you do, no judgment. I just wanted to drive that home, that our surroundings really matter. So maybe in your addiction, it was easy to neglect cleaning your physical space. Maybe this is a time to really recommit to that. Really do some deep cleaning. Do clean one room deeply a day. Clean your physical space. Get rid of stuff you don't use. Declutter. Start new projects around the home. Redecorate. Rearrange your furniture. New neural pathways, new connections. Spiritually cleanse your space. Go get a bundle of sage and light it up and sage your house. Get some Palo Santo, light it up, take it around your house, open a window, do Reiki in the middle of a room. All of these things are going to bring more of that light into your experience and get rid of those heavy things, because the heaviness can really just hang around us in our physical space. And when we're getting sober, or when you are recommitting to sobriety, that's such a good time to have that physical reset as well, because it's going to do a lot for your brain. Your brain is going to connect that physical change with so much. And new neural pathways are going to start building, new ways of seeing your situation, and new solutions can come in. It's creating space. And the 10th thing, the last thing, is just put things in perspective, dear soul. We are on a planet spinning around in the middle of absolutely nowhere. So you're alive. You are alive and sober. And that is a lot, regardless if you messed up. You can get back there, or you can get there to where you want to be, that maybe you've never been before. Maybe this is an opportunity to create something brand new and be the best you can possibly be. And like I said, we're on a planet spinning in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Our brain loves to make everything so freaking important, and that everything hinges on this. But put it in perspective, be easier, have more fun, let yourself off the hook, let everyone else off the hook, just if only just for yourself, because that takes up so much bandwidth, holding resentment towards other people or yourself. Let it go. Let yourself enjoy life. Count your blessings. Get deeper into gratitude. That helps things be put into perspective. Go outside and go on a walk and look for all of the things that really bring you joy, or things that you find really beautiful. And realize that in the scheme of things, this is moving you forward. It might feel absolutely horrible right now, but in the scheme of things, this is moving you forward. This is serving to awaken compassion and wisdom within yourself. You're going to be able to help other people in the future with your own experience. You're going to have more skillful ways of navigating your own life, and you're going to be better for it. There's so much love for you in the universe. So let yourself open up to that, and give that love to yourself. Give that love to those around you, and realize that you got this. You are going to be okay. You're going to be even better than okay. And life goes on in a beautiful way. And I know how it can be, because I've been there many, many times myself. But I'm also here to tell you, from the other side, your life is just beginning. There's so much beauty waiting for you in your recovery. You can get right back on the horse. Now, of course, this is not an exhaustive list. There are gobs of things that you can do to better your life after a relapse. There's as many ways to heal from a relapse or a slip as there are people in recovery, right? So find your own ways. Ask other people what they've experienced. This is not the end all be all. So I hope this helped you in some way. I hope you're feeling better about things. Let me know in the comments down below what's going on. How are you? What did this relapse teach you? What have you learned from relapses in the past? What has your experience been? Don't forget to like, comment, and share the video with anyone else who would benefit. Thank you so much for your attention. We'll talk soon. Bye.